So the big question is this: how are those in the self-storage industry like us going to be successful in today's market? That's the question, and this show will give you the answers. My name is Jim Ross, and welcome to the Self-Storage Show.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for another episode here. Today's episode, I want to talk about embracing competition. A few months back, friend, Poppy Behrens, I'm sure maybe if you're in the self-storage industry, you know Poppy. Anyway, she messaged me a few months back asking if I would like to contribute to an upcoming publication that we're putting together. And quite frankly, I don't do much articles at all, really. I do a lot of the videos, that kind of stuff, a lot of online things. I haven't, quite frankly, done very much when it comes to print publications, besides the book that I wrote. And anyway, as to what it was for, what it's going to be about, and here I'll show you. This publication, Competing and Winning as a Small Operator. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You know, earlier this year I did a Beat the REITs summit where I interviewed a bunch of people in the industry and asked them, okay, if you're surrounded by competition, the big boys in the industry, what's one action item you would do to help you stand out and beat the REITs? So it was kind of a good segue. It led nicely into this publication she wanted me to write an article for. And one thing about me writing, I have a hard time just sitting down and looking at a blank page and like, okay, I got to write something. Brain doesn't work that way. So what I do is, like, when I drive a lot, I'll record myself. Just put my phone, do a voice message, and I write it that way. I just talk and then transcribe it and then kind of make it look prettier. And then cool, there's the print publication. So that's kind of how this one came about. And this article here, I don't know, it's like, well, 1, 2, 3, not huge article, but I wanted to focus on the 5 reasons why competition is great. Just kind of give you a quick little summary of this article. Because I enjoy competition, okay? Not physically. Was never into sports, never did anything like that as far as, joining any sporting activities. I could care less. Watching sports, sorry, I'm gonna go to sleep. Can't do that either. But business competition, cool. That gets my blood going. I like that kind of stuff. So that's my angle when it comes to this, writing this and that kind of competition. So I'm gonna kind of just tell you a little about this one here. Number one, reason why competition is great is I think it brings out the best of you, quite frankly. I mean, just put yourself in a storage position like if you were, and I see it, quite frankly, kind of like a mom and pop, you're kind of by yourself, captive market. You can kind of get a little bit lazy, rest on your laurels of, hey, it's all good. Everyone's paying their rent every single month, cashing my check. I don't need to worry about revenue management or focusing on my marketing or anything like that. It's all good. You can kind of get lazy, okay? When you have competition, it's going to keep you on your toes, okay? Or at least it should, if you want to stay ahead of the market. Because, you're with your competition, you got to look at them, okay? I mean, they're, especially the big boys. Let's call it what it is. This is competing against the big boys in your area. They are, okay? Just look at all facets of the market when it comes to marketing, okay? Well, what are they doing to get that phone to ring, to get the rentals in the first place? They're fantastic marketers. They have whole departments dedicated to just that, of getting that phone to ring. Conversions, okay? Once that phone rings and they're calling or seeing you online, what's that customer journey like to actually convert them into a customer? Once they're there, okay. Now, what's the revenue management systems that are kicking in place to make sure you're maximizing the value of that customer you worked hard to get in through your doors? And so you kind of have that mentality of, what are they doing? How can I implement that in my own business and make myself better? Okay. So brings out the best of you. Number 2, there is a pain in losing leads, rentals, and revenue. That takes another step further, not just looking and kind of seeing an example of what they're doing, observing what they're doing. Make it hurt, okay? Especially owners that are listening to this. Kind of put yourself in that position of, man, where am I at right now in my competition in my area, my 3-mile market? 3 mile. I know I'm not getting every single lead, obviously, okay? Otherwise, it wouldn't be a competition in that area. But my competition, man, if I have, some 10 by 20s I need to rent, my competitor, they got how many rentals today? Another competitor, how many rentals they get today? Another competitor, they got some rentals today. Maybe I didn't get any, okay? Make that hurt. I like to, maybe I'm a little sadistic, but internal that pain a little bit and be like, that should have been mine, okay? That should have been my rental. And it's not just the lead. And now it's all the revenue that you're missing out on that lead of that lifetime potential of that customer, the revenue that would be coming into your business. Let's just say, $100 average rental rate for a month, stay for 12 months, $1,200. Cool. Well, guy down the street just took $1,200 out of your pocket. Okay? Put a figure to that. Make this stuff hurt. Kind of lights a little fire on your butt to actually look more at your operations and be real with yourself on what you can do to stand up and get that rental in the first place. Number 3, going down the list. Kind of nice having a list. Requires constant and never-ending improvement. That's always a biggie of mine. I should be still am, big Tony Robbins fan. I remember being like 9 years old and reading The Ultimate Power by Anthony Robbins, and I was taking notes and stuff. I'm a nerd. But anyway, he was always talking about constant and never-ending improvement. That's how he minimize that, make it easy to remember. And you can implement that in your business. Break your systems. Seriously, whatever's working now, cool. Kind of break it, and then what can you do to make it even better? And that's all aspects. When it comes to marketing, okay, how can you make it better than what you're doing right now? It's just having that mindset. Those of you that have gone through my challenges in the past, I've read the book, and I'll be doing that again, by the way. So I've been getting a lot of requests for that. But I ended the whole thing with this constant, never-ending improvement mentality of 1%. It's kind of like every day, sitting down, picking one aspect of your business. Don't care what it is. Marketing, your Google My Business, your Google My Business, I'll get that out. Your website, the way you're answering the phone, the customer service journey of getting them through the rental process, your revenue management process, all sorts of different things, okay? Just pick one little item. Don't care what it is. Pick one item. How can you improve it by 1%? Okay? It's just a simple question, but just asking yourself that question in the first place of how can you improve your business by 1% on just this one aspect you're looking at, you're just gonna get that mentality and getting that flow of doing that every day, just picking one thing, and then I guarantee you, and by this time next year, you won't recognize your operations. Your revenue is going to be going up. Everything starts working together and working much better than it currently is now. With the whole COVID thing and all that, I think everyone jumped up pretty quick because it was out of necessity that they had to change their operations, make sure move-ins online were maximized and working out well in line with people level reserve and not have to come into the office if need be. And yeah, we've been talking about that for years, quite frankly, it's good value for the customer. It helps them out. And yeah, people were dragging their feet. And then when COVID hit, you had no choice. You had to change. No more of this, how I can improve by 1%. No, you had to improve by some cases 100%, the way it worked, online or getting people to rent. So sometimes out of necessity, you really have to look at your operations and see what you can do to improve. But even on the good days, just literally sitting down for 15 minutes a day and just being like, okay, what's one aspect I can look at right now, improve it by 1%? It's a great habit, okay? Number 4, it encourages you to surround yourself with like-minded staff. That's a big one too, especially if if you have a management company that has a staff or you have a portfolio of sites. You want to kind of get that company culture, I guess you want to put it that way, with other managers, regional managers, talking to those managers, owners being a part of the whole thing. Just having that mindset of just, okay, this is our goal. This is where we want to get to. This is where we are now. What do we have to do to get there? Okay. And a lot of it comes down to, again, going back to embracing your competition of, okay, in my market, in my 3-month market, who are the players? Okay. Who am I going after? You can model, there's another quote, that success leaves clues. Totally does. Okay. Big boy in your market, they're doing stuff right. What are they doing? Model them. Okay. And then you start communicating. That's a big one. Communicating this with your staff, with everyone else on your team, and just creating that mentality of, again, not so much like I'm taking you down kind of thing. No, like I said, embracing competition. It's a good thing. You're using other people to make yourself better. And it's kind of funny. I forgot I've done this before. I haven't done it in a while. See, it helps me out too. I had a site in Denver that had down like 3 or 4 candidates that were really good at the time. I don't know about you. Finding staff lately has been weird. That's a whole other topic. But I had it down like 3 or 4 candidates I thought were really good. It was like flipping a coin. Like, okay, well, you get the job. I didn't know. Anyway, I sent them out. I said, you're going to get a second interview. Send them out an email and just say, okay, put your thinking cap on. And I want you to come in tomorrow and let me know if you ran this site and I gave you the keys to the kingdom. Here you go. Run it. You don't have to talk to anybody else. What would you do? You don't have to get any approval or anything like that. What would you do to, market yourself better amongst your competition? What would you do, to get that phone to ring? And just kind of getting those wheels turning of embracing the competition and making them look at that site, what other locations were doing, and just kind of getting their feedback. And again, these guys weren't in storage at all. So, some comments were just totally out left field, but still put them in that flow of thinking that way, of not just being told, okay, this is what you're going to do today for your marketing. This is what you're going to do for revenue management. No, kind of putting them in the driver's seat and making them really think through what they would do for that location if they didn't have to go through the chain of command or anything like that, and just can implement. And I kind of forgot about that exercise. Anyway, I had one person, 2 of them were not the best. I had one person came in and said, hey, I checked all the competition. Here they are. Here's the rates. I even called them. I secret shopped them. This is what I would do to stand on the phone, and just blew my socks off. Anyway, hired her. She's still around 3 years later or something like that, and just kicking butt. But it was just that little question of having that, what can I do to get some like-minded staff as soon as I brought them in, that they'd have that mentality of contribution and looking at the competition and what can we do to stand out. And it worked out really well. So anyway, for those of you that are watching, maybe want to take that tactic for if you're interviewing. Worked for me. So I kind of forgot I did that. So I'm going to bring that back. Last, not least, number 5, you end up competing with yourself. Totally true. Like I said, I look at what others are doing that are obviously successful in industry, kind of take what they're doing, make it my own. I'll look at their operations. I mean, they're not doing this just for kicks and giggles. They have a system in place and they're doing a certain kind of marketing, doing it kind of special, that kind of thing. Trust me, they're doing it for a reason, okay? So I'm kind of looking at that, getting those kind of cues, implement it in my business, put my own spin on it, that's for sure. But you get to that point of, you don't even start looking out at the outside. You just start competing with yourself at your self-storage location. Actually, it kind of goes personal too, but we're talking storage here. But after a while, like I said, you're just kind of doing that, kind of goes back to that 1%, just every day, kind of what can I do to improve? What can I do to improve? Just a little bit every day. And it ends up being a competition with yourself. And I guarantee you, when you kind of have that that focus of just looking at your own marketing, your operations, and just everything. Man, look at a snapshot a year later, you're going to be leapfrogging your competition because they're not doing that. Okay, they really aren't. Especially like for just small independent operators, you guys have the flexibility. You can start changing things a hell of a lot quicker than the bigger boys, and that's to your advantage. Okay, embrace it and use it and try new things. Okay, that's the fun part. And as you're following me here, my whole point is I'll be giving you ideas, things to try and stuff like that. Kind of question yourself and just try it. Okay, that's the whole point. Where a lot of this stuff is just give things a shot. But yeah, like I said, after a while, you'll be competing with yourself and you'll just leapfrog everybody else because you're just focused on what you're doing and improving each and every single day. So anyway, that is my 5 reasons why competition is great. Okay. Again, thanks so much for being a part of this. Before I go, I want to invite everyone to building a Facebook community. Had it for a little while, but really been focusing on building it up lately. So you've probably been seeing the membership grow. For those of you that aren't in it yet, come join. Join the group at selfstoragecommunity.com. Again, it's a Facebook platform, but it's a lot of fun. Okay, we're building that up. Gonna have some good things going in that group right now. I think we have almost 2,200 people in there right now. So it's a good like-minded community for everybody. And again, that's what we're doing. We're making ourselves better by having this community. So that is the idea. So again, thanks so much for tuning in for this episode, and I'll see you again next time. Take care. Hi, everyone. This is Jim again. If you enjoyed this episode,